Welcome back to SCV Today, and of course we talk a lot about real estate here. It's a huge topic. The economy is such where real estate is a huge factor in that, but then of course we have so many homeowners here in Santa Clarita, so it's a topic that so many people are interested in, and so that's why we bring Mike Bjorkman into the program and bring him into the conversation. We've been talking a lot about inventory, but now what we're going to talk about is dues and fees that people pay.
Specifically today, what I wanted to talk about, because actually we got some emails from our viewers, and it just happened to come up in my normal work week a lot, where me as an agent, I think I'm so used to the term Mello-Roos and property tax that I totally am comfortable, that I totally get it. But what a lot of people want to know is it beneficial? Where does it come from? Do I have to pay it? Where is it? All these things. So I thought, I thought maybe we'd talk about it today.
Yeah, start from that very basic. That's a great question.
All right, well, in 1982, I think it was Henry Mello and Mike Roos, assemblymen and whatever it is, government people, put this together, and it's called the Community Facilities District. And it allows them to have bonds for our communities to improve different things like schools, streets, sewage, street lights, parks, all kinds of different things. So when a builder goes to present to the Department of Real Estate their new project, all these things, of course, have to happen. If the builder isn't willing to participate, then it goes to the voters of the area, which needs to be 2/3 to pass, and then they create these bonds, which pay for those things.
Right.
And it's attached to a homeowner's real property tax bill. And there you go with the Mello-Roos. And it's different. It can go up to 40 years. Typically around here it's 30. And there's a lot of areas with it.
I know that over in Stevenson Ranch, that it almost became a bad word.
Right.
That because people were talking about when they're looking at homes, and they would ask, is there Mello-Roos? Yeah, there's Mello-Roos. Oh.
Right.
So good. So that became a selling down point.
Right. Mello-Roos can be pretty expensive. Typically, our tax rate in Santa Clarita is anywhere from 1 to 1.25% with all the other junk taxes they throw on there. But when you add some Mello-Roos, say for instance Stevenson Ranch to Tesoro, that could be 0.5% of your purchase price, which could be a lot. So an extra $300-400 a month to somebody is a pretty big difference, or an extra couple $100 even. Let's say it is $175-200. That could be $50,000 in somebody's purchase price. So if you're looking at a home for $650,000, you really could buy one for $700. And I think some people get a little confused also with Mello-Roos and homeowners associations.
That was my question to you. And you could have both, technically, right?
Let's just take Tesoro for instance, because that's the one that everybody talks about the most. It seems to be the highest. There's big association and big Mello-Roos, so it really affects a person's buying power. Now, if you're buying a home for $600,000 and you add the Mello-Roos and homeowners dues, you could go out of that area and buy a home for $700,000. Now, there's always an upside to everything. This wouldn't be there if it wasn't positive. If you think about the areas with Mello-Roos, the brand new areas of both brand new areas of Valencia have Mello-Roos, and then you have Stevenson Ranch and Tesoro. Those are some of the nicest places in Santa Clarita. They have wonderful facilities around there, parks and everything's just so beautiful.
Essentially, you get what you pay for.
Right. So you got to kind of look at it. Does it affect my property value? Well, the nicer and more desirable the area, yes. When the market was crashing really hard from 2005, 2006 till now, Mello-Roos was a really big deal to people. Of course. In this economy, everybody was struggling to save pennies. So when the home prices came down low enough, then it was an okay deal again.
Do you find that when people are coming in to buy and they're looking at different neighborhoods and such, that the homeowners association dues, that Mello-Roos, all those things, absolutely have a massive impact? I mean, a very definitive impact on what neighborhood a potential buyer wants to go into.
Yeah, I have people all the time that say, Mike, I do not want to find a neighborhood without an association. I say, really, why? Well, I like to park my motorhome overnight, or I don't, just different things. They don't want to be governed by a community
by a neighborhood.
Like that. Yeah, and then there's some people who say, I have to have one because I don't want the neighbor to paint the house purple.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I grew up in a neighborhood in North Valencia with no association. Literally next door, somebody painted their house purple. So my whole life I've used that because I remember my mom and dad going, can you believe Mr. and Mrs. Blank painted their house purple? So I see the benefits to both. I love associations when there's really nice facilities, tennis courts, pools.
Right.
if you're not going to use those things, it might not be to your advantage.
You know, my mother-in-law, where she lives, they have a very strict homeowners, and it's a townhome facility, and it's right there on the golf course on Valencia Country Club golf course. And new neighbors moved in, and they put all this stuff out on the front porch, on the front door, and they literally, like, you have to walk up together. And I looked at her and I'm like, really? And she goes, oh, don't worry about it. Homeowners will make them get rid of it real soon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Thank God, because I mean, it's hideous. And I mean, I have always said that if I move, I definitely want to be where there's a homeowners, because I don't
agree.
You got to be careful though, because I know of homeowner associations, several of them out here, that say you can't park in your own driveway. You have to literally park in the garage with the doors shut. Now, to me, the motorhome boat guy, I couldn't imagine that. As a matter of fact, I moved from behind Granary Square to Placerita Canyon because I'd pull my motorhome in, big diesel pusher, throwing black smoke all over everybody. And the homeowner president at the time actually called me and said, do not bring that behemoth into my neighborhood without my permission.
Wow.
I said, you are out of your freaking mind.
Is that really what you said?
Yeah, well, no. Let's put it this way. I got a few phone calls from people that have more authority than I do. Anyway, so I had to move. So me, I'm not into association. Mello-Roos, I'm not opposed to. Similar to with homeowners associations. A lot of homeowner association dues cover your trash, cover your front lawn maintenance. So if you add all that in, it's not that bad. It's just conforming, and that's what a lot of people like.
You know, you bring up, but a lot of this with this, and we talk about different areas and different neighborhoods. And how important and how do you factor that in when you've got a client that, say, is coming in from out of state or out of the area, certainly, and they come in and they're saying, I want a 4-bedroom, I'm willing to spend $700,000, ... Do you really work to get to know them so that you completely understand, you know, like you two, and I would throw myself into Tammy's camp with this because I like the associations. I don't want a purple house next door to me, and I don't want a bunch of junk in the neighborhood.
You don't want his big motorhome.
I don't want his big motor. Well, I don't mind if it's tucked away. That doesn't bother me at all. But I do like the association. I like that. How much time does it take to get to know someone so that you absolutely can fully understand which neighborhood to put them in?
It's a matter of pre-qualifying your buyer. And we say pre-qualify, we often think of financial. But when we need to counsel a buyer, we ask them things like that. If they say they want a $700,000 house and they look online on Realtor.com or Trulia, or even the things that I've emailed them, and they say, I want to see these homes, you know, one might be in Westridge, one might be in Stevenson Ranch, one might be in Tesoro, and I got to explain to them and counsel them the difference. Okay, do you realize what the Mello-Roos tax is? And if they say no, we just counsel them, explain it to them, and actually put the numbers down. So we could say, you can buy a $650,000 home in this neighborhood, not a $700,000. Because what happens sometimes, if the lender or the bank is tipped off that there's Mello-Roos, they will actually use those figures when qualifying the buyer. So you got to be careful. Now, the buyer may be comfortable at the $700,000 price, but when you throw $200 a month of HOA dues and then another $200 a month of Mello-Roos, that's $400 difference. So that's, like I said, really buying a $750,000. So you might take them out of their comfort range. So an experienced, good agent will sit them down, explain all those different things to them so they're comfortable with whatever areas and price range you're showing them.
Now, Mike, what I would like you to do, maybe starting next week, is maybe start breaking down neighborhoods for us and explain, because I have friends, I was telling you this before, that have moved here from over the hill in the last 10 years or so. They live up in Valencia. They have no idea what Placerita Canyon is or that it exists. Right. They have no idea what Wildwood Canyon is. They don't know Vista Ridge. They don't know all these other areas out here. I don't know the Golden Valley area. And I was driving through there the other day and I'm thinking, there's some really nice homes up here. I had no idea.
Right.
So maybe
do you Golden Valley to us is Fair Oaks Ranch, right? Where the new shopping centers are and all the big neighborhoods. Because up Golden Valley is more of a commercial area. So that's a good idea. So what I'll do is I'll break down different areas where there might be, we'll take, you know, say for instance, Fair Oaks Ranch and the surrounding area, maybe Westridge surrounding area, and we can break it down like that.
I think that would be great for our viewers, and to let them know exactly, you know, the schools, if there's a Paseo system.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Right. On my website and the YouTube channel, we're really starting to build that out, so it'll be available too once we do it here. We can put it on there.
See, and I agree, because I think that's extremely good information. Because when I have been looking at houses, I have had no idea about neighborhoods, and I went on a tour with a real estate agent when I first moved to California in '89, and I said, this is my price range, excuse me, and she was taking me to places, and I was like, I don't want to live here. Why are you bringing me into here? That's why I was asking about how much it takes to to get to know them. I think that's a great idea for the next show.
That's what's so nice about the internet now. What I do with my clients is we'll email them a list of, say, 30 homes available, and we'll really break down the certain areas. So when they end up in our office, I get on my laptop, which airplays to my big screen. We could zoom in on the property. We can circle around it with Google Earth. We could zoom out, point where the schools are, where the freeway is, where the parks are, and we can narrow a list of 30 homes down to 3 so we don't waste a lot of people's time. We don't waste the buyer's time, my time, the seller's times. That way we could really do a good job, and we could cover a lot more ground. If somebody's coming from, you know, Kentucky that doesn't have any idea what Santa Clarita is all about, we want to show them a little Castaic, little Canyon Country, little Newhall, little Saugus, little Valencia. That way we can say, okay, here's 2 from each area, and we can get a lot accomplished in one day. Yeah. So technology helps us a lot too. And then right there from my computer, I can sit there, click on the tax rolls, and actually show them what a normal tax would be. This is what it is with Mello-Roos tax. This is what it is with the HOA. We can work all the payments right there from all my internal programs right in front of the buyers. So then they go, okay. Perfect example is we were working with somebody the other day off Plum Canyon, you know, Bouquet to Plum.
Right.
And there's fairly newer Kaufman and Broad homes there. And you can get 2,000 square feet, a gorgeous home, nice big yard, a view, and the property, I believe, was like $339. And the buyer's going, wow, I can get all this for that. And I said, yeah, slow down. Because across the street, we're showing them something for $400,000 that's a little bit older, smaller yard. And they're going, what the heck? This must be a really good deal. Then I started showing them the HOA, the Mello-Roos, and they go, oh, now I see why nobody wants it. And I said, a lot of people don't want those taxes. But if you look at it this way, you get a way nicer home, bigger lot, and a view for actually the same price as the 400. The payments are the same.
Right.
What do you prefer? And that's what's great about being in a market that we are. I don't want to say a depressed market, but with the values really far down, you can actually pick and choose because a lot of the areas have compensated for that.
And again, why you need to have an educated agent. That's why everyone should call you.
Thank you. I agree.
So you want to stick around for the rest of the show?
I would love to.
While we chit-chat?
We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
You guys crack me up. That's so fun. That is so fun. Yeah.
Well, what we really need from you, Mike, though, is the ability to actually talk.
Okay.
Do you think you could do that through the rest of the show?
Stop being so quiet, Mike.
Yeah, stop being so quiet. We really need to pull information out of you, Mike.
Because I know we need to talk about Tami and her control issues.
Yes, we do.
Right?
Well, see, now you're starting to talk.
That's the off-camera stuff.
I didn't know the cameras were off when we were talking about it.
See, there's a line, Mike, and you just crossed it, okay?
Okay, but we got new billboards going up, right?
Yeah, we got
We're
We're going to wrap Tami's car for advertising.
No.
All right, it should be fun.
Well, the 3 of us are going to be back. We got a lot of news to talk about, so stay tuned.